From the thrilling gunfights between brave outlaws and the brave lawmen fighting them, to the card sharks and pioneers who made the West great, the stories and histories of the Old West still captivate the imagination of anyone who listens to them. It was a time of lawlessness and perseverance, incredible heartbreak and incredible opportunity for thousands of families. Although that era is long gone, the stories of those who lived still exist in various tourist attractions and venues. Whether you're a big Wild West buff or just interested in learning about America's wildest years, these attractions are a must-see to believe. The OK Corral will always be remembered for one of the most famous gunfights in the West. On October 26, 1881, Wyatt Earp and the Clintons fought for dominance, ending in several tragic deaths and lifelong injuries. Today, 3 gunfights take place every day which mimic the original gunfight as closely as possible. History buffs can take a buggy ride of the entire town where history comes to life or check out the many other attractions in the area. The Moorish-inspired white structure is the oldest Catholic church in the United States, which is still active after 300 years. The awe-inspiring building is erected in the middle of San Xavier Indian Reservation area 10 miles outside of Tucson, Arizona. Appropriately named, White Dove in the Desert, the building is mainly crafted in limestone. Overall, the site is visited by more than 200,000 visitors every year. Also known as Tombstone Graveyard, the Boot Hill Graveyard is one of the most famous resting places for many who died during the Old Wild West. From regular citizens to outlaws, many of the people who made Tombstone the city it is today are buried in the cemetery. The graveyard has a few who died at the famous OK Corral as well as many other residents. This old saloon is buzzing with history as numerous gunfights took place inside the building. In its heyday, the Birdcage Theater was one of the most popular places in the Old West where gambling, prostitution and drinking were allowed. The bullet holes on walls are a stark reminder of its dirty history. 6 recently renovated underground rooms offer a more fascinating experience for those who don't mind confrontations with the ghosts that supposedly roam the premises. Old Trail Town, located in Cody, Wyoming, has been meticulously restored to resemble the town during its heyday between 1880 and 1900. Named after the legendary showman, William F. Buffalo Bill Cody, this town boasts thousands of Old West artifacts and the grave of mountain man John Johnson, on whom the popular movie Jeremiah Johnson was based. This site is an absolute must-see when journeying through the Old West. This historic park is designed to educate visitors on the history of Tombstone, one of the most famous Wild West towns. The main attraction is the courthouse, which was built in 1882 and houses one of the finest collections of historical artifacts from the Old West. Visitors can even see a recreated gallows much like the kind often used to hang criminals in the Old West. This museum is home to one of the most fascinating collections of the American wilderness. The first owner collected items in exchange for beer and food, but the collection has since grown to include a 1,056-pound black marlin and prehistoric Irish elk. The original saloon is also the place where Mexican Revolution was planned. In addition to the saloon, there is a museum, a shooting gallery, gift shops, a Texas Ranger gallery and a cafe. While in the area, you should also try to catch out a show at the Majestic Theater, less than a half-mile away. While everyone thinks about cowboys in the Wild West, they weren't the only ones roaming the prairie. The National Cowgirl Museum provides a historical perspective on the achievements of the most daring cowgirls in the nation. Originally nothing more than a small room in the basement, the museum has continuously grown since 1975. It now takes up an entire 33,000-square-foot building and is filled with more than 4,000 artifacts as well as the stories and histories of the sometimes overlooked American cowgirls. If you get hungry while in the area, check out the Kimball Art Museum, too, which is only a short distance away, features tons of artwork and is really unique place to eat, which locals love. These 500 acres are home to a replica of the historic wooden mill that sparked the gold rush in California and completely altered the history of Wild West. Visitors can visit many restored structures to learn about the history and try their luck digging for gold. The The park also offers great outdoor opportunities for hiking and adventure.